Hi guys, welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for 8th July 2021, which is a Thursday. But before we begin, I want to let you know that I do daily video horoscopes, I do weekly video horoscopes, I do monthly sun rising sign video horoscopes that you can watch all on my YouTube channel. I also request you to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. Now, that being said, let's talk about today. Today is another light day in the astrology. However, we are building up to the new moon in Cancer, which is tomorrow. But today, overall, is a lighter day, just as it was yesterday. So I'll walk through the aspects of the events really quickly, and then we can close the reading out because, like I said, it's an easier day rather. So the moon enters the sign of Cancer, and this happens at about 7:50 a.m. Pacific time. And if you want the Indian Standard Time, just add 12 hours, okay? So this is 7:50 a.m. Pacific time. The moon is going to enter the sign of Cancer. And the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. And when it changes signs, the focus in our life, the energy with which we approach things shifts in very subtle subconscious ways. And the moon loves to be in Cancer, right? It rules Cancer. So whenever the moon is in Cancer, it is at home. And during these 2.5 days, we become more introverted. We want to be with our close friends and family. We want to focus on our home. We want to go within. We want to focus on our deepest emotions because that's what Cancer is, right? Our home. So we want to find our safety. We want to find our comfort. We want to nurture ourselves every time the moon comes into the sign of Cancer. And we will do this for the next 2.5 days. And the new moon tomorrow is also in the sign of Cancer. So this new beginning that we're going to have tomorrow is, of course, where Cancer lies in your particular chart, which house. But otherwise, broadly speaking, it is a new beginning where we will look to find comfort, find our safe space, find our home, look within. A new beginning for the next lunar month, which will happen tomorrow, but the moon's already there. So you might be feeling the energy shifting, changing, the endings happening, the new beginnings starting, because right now we are in the balsamic phase of the moon, right? And that's 2 to 3 days before the new moon. And this is the period where we release things, we close out the last lunar month. So this is the period where also the physical energy might be a little low. And that's because internally we are gearing up for the new moon, the new beginning, and this time it's about finding our comfort. And I will talk about it in detail tomorrow as well. But this new moon is different than the new moons in Cancer we have had in the past 2 to 3 years because it is not opposing Saturn. Saturn was in Capricorn, right, over the past from 2017 to 2020, which meant every time we had a new moon or every time the moon was in Cancer till December of 2020, it felt difficult, it felt challenging, right? But Saturn's moved on. Saturn's moved on. Now we only have Pluto left. So the intensity of when the moon would come into Cancer has eased up. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about. The moon has entered Cancer where we will see a new moon happen. Okay. Now the next thing happens soon after, very soon after the moon enters the sign of Cancer, and that's a trine to Jupiter retrograde there. So at about 10 a.m. Pacific time, the moon here has made a trine to Jupiter retrograde. Now these two are in water signs. Water is all about our emotions, right? It's all about spirituality as well. Water is our emotions, it is our spirituality, it is also our psychology. So at this moment, as the moon trines Jupiter, positive 120-degree angle, we can feel very hopeful, we can feel very happy, we can feel very optimistic about something connected to the recent past. It could also be a emotional blessing, emotional healing connected to something from the recent past. And why do I keep saying the past? That's because Jupiter is in retrograde. In retrograde, we've seen it once, right? Jupiter has crossed 1 degree 39 before, but now it's coming back on the same spot, which means what? We're dealing with something connected from the past. But this is a feel-good energy. And this is definitely emotional, and it could be something that Jupiter is bringing up that's helping us find comfort, find joy, find hope, find peace, find some healing. And if I forward the chart for the whole day, there's nothing very significant that is happening barring these two things. So it is a lighter day in the astrology. It is a day where we are releasing, we are letting go, we are waiting for the new beginning, new moon tomorrow. Because what happens when we are ending something, right? Like when we're at the end of something, it's like we're there, and now's the time to relax. There's a gap between an ending and a beginning, and I feel like today is that gap where before we start new things, before the universe says, hey, start this new beginning, plant this new seed, work on this new thing, work on finding your comfort, or wherever Cancer is in your chart. Before that, it's saying rest, recover, rejuvenate, let go of the past 1 month, let go of it. So today is that day, and let's face it, the past 10 days have been very, very intense, right? We had the Mars Saturn opposition, Venus and Saturn opposed, Neptune and Mercury retrograde squared, all this while Mars and Venus were in square to Uranus, which they to some degree still are, right? 13 degrees and 16 degrees, and Uranus is at 14 degrees. They are in a close orb, right? And Venus is building up to its square to Uranus, which we will see happen. And that happens today as well. But so let's talk about that. I covered this in the Venus-Saturn opposition because that's when we spoke about Venus-Uranus square, but let's talk about it today as well. Okay. So Venus here at 1405 is going to square Uranus, right? 90-degree angle. Now this is a sudden change to all Venus-related things. Love, money, relationships, business partnerships, skills, projects, self-worth, values, all those sorts of things. And these changes, this sudden unexpected change or whatever it is for you, will push us more with our unique self. It'll help us be our authentic self. And this has been happening in the background since, I think, 6th July, because that's when Venus and Saturn oppose. Venus is here, Saturn is here, they opposed back then. So we know this energy, that sudden change to Venus. I broke it down in that video, but now is today when the square kind of comes exact with Uranus. So yeah, barring that, the energy is much easier than it has been. We might see that sudden shift in Venus related things, but that's a carry on, right? It's not something new. It's a carry on from the energy we have been feeling. But by itself today, nothing that intense is taking place. Whatever is happening, Moon trine in Jupiter retrograde is a positive aspect. Now we'll have the new moon in Cancer tomorrow, so we'll talk about it then. And now I'll talk about a few basic things that have been happening in the astrology that we feel on a day-to-day basis. They may not be happening right now, but we feel them. And the first of those things is the Saturn-Uranus square, right? Now, these planets will square all year, 90-degree angle, and this energy we're seeing after 21 years. And what this energy is asking of us is to shed old ways that don't serve us. It's about embracing the new. It's about finding your truth, your authentic self, and embracing that. And since these planets are squaring 90-degree angle, this process of shedding the old, embracing the new, embracing your uniqueness can feel quite challenging. The second thing that we are building right now is the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, right? That happened in December 2022, so about 6-7 months ago. And these planets conjunct once in 20 years. So this is a new beginning that we are building for the next 20 years. And we will build for the next 2 years. So right now, if you keep in mind these two energies that I've spoken about, Saturn-Uranus and Saturn-Jupiter, it's all about what? Building, changing, getting rid of the old, embracing the new. And you will have to embrace your unique self to make all this happen. And the third thing that is still with us in a way is the Pluto-Saturn conjunction. These met up in Jan of 2020, and when they met up, they changed our material reality in some way, shape, or form. Look at 22 degrees of Capricorn in your chart. Wherever that is, whichever house, that's where the change happened for you. So that's what we have been understanding, have been working through rather. And this energy, this new cycle of Saturn and Pluto will stay with us till 2053. Because these planets meet up so rarely, once in 33 to 38 years. The last time they met up was 1982. So 1982, then 2020, and now 2053. It's a very rare thing that we saw in Jan of 2020. And the last thing that I mentioned are the nodes. The North Node is in Gemini, the South Node in Sag. And the nodes are karmic. They bring up karmic things that you need to deal with, whether to close out or build on or just to review or whatever it is. But they bring up past things. Now, these things that might come back from the past go back to 2001 and 2003, because that's when the nodes were in this position, Gemini and Sag. So that's all the background. Now, I will pick a card for today, and then we'll close out the reading. Okay, let's go with the card that is flipped. It says poised. I think this kind of ties into the fact that we are being poised for the new beginning in Cancer tomorrow with the new moon. We are getting ready for that. We are there. Today is the last day of the last lunar month, right? Before we have a new lunar beginning tomorrow. And right now the universe is prepping us so that we are poised to take that new beginning, make that new change or whatever it is for you. So today's energy is about that, and today we do have the Venus-Uranus square come exact, so there might be some level of sudden unexpected changes to Venus-related things, love, money, relationships, projects, etc. But I think we've seen glimpses of what those changes might be. Because on 6th July, Venus did square Uranus, not exact, but it did square Uranus and oppose Saturn, and I think it's a carryover of that energy. But by itself, today is a much lighter day. That's all I leave you with. If you like this video, do hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.